Right, man, what's up? How are we? Getting ready to rock here. We have got 4 minutes till the close of Big Bar 36. And we've got some work to do. So let's get to it, man. Let's do it. What do you say? How are we doing so far? Oh, 36. I don't mind that at all. Now, number one concern here about this little region, if this ends up becoming a trading range, which it very well could, then we got to treat this a lot differently. But let's watch how 36 closes up and see what we get. All right, now let's do it. 3 minutes. Stu, big dog, how we doing? Rich, Mario, Roy, what's up, guys? Stu, what's up, buddy? 300, how we doing? All right, Bulls. Pop this thing a little bit more. We got plenty of room to go to that 29.9 ATR. Range on 36 here thus far, sitting at just below 17-ish. Ed, how we doing? Yeah, Ed, good idea. Put a W in the chat if you're green on the day here. And let's see who has the guts, man. Put an L in the chat if you're red. Auto 4L, AWOL, City, respect. Respect. There's nothing wrong with being red, but if you're red from breaking your own rules, you should feel ashamed of yourself. But if you're red from following the plan and it just didn't happen to work, fucking so what? A lot of trades aren't going to work, and that's okay. All right, whole bunch of nothing on 36. You balls! Let's see what 37 here brings. If we end up getting another curl, all of a sudden that changes the look a lot. Depending on 30, it's probably going to take 37 and 38 unless we get a nice bull body here out of 37, closing above the wick high of 36, in which case I would hit that to the long side. Oh, you bulls. Don't make me do it. Don't you make me do it. Let's see if they give us a nice clean close, man. 3.5 minutes out. Trevor says, Nico, can you talk about how sizing works for you? And when you're in profit for the day, how do you size differently? Yeah, so this is kind of a nuanced discussion, but let me give you the Cliff Notes version. Sizing changes a lot, depending on whether you're trading a personal account, a funded, or an eval. Let's talk fundeds, okay? In funded accounts, you can't really change your sizing too much because you can only start at 1 micro and you don't have all that much room to go until you're trading way too big for the drawdown you're allowed. So exponential bet sizing, which is extremely relevant if we're talking about personal accounts when you know that you have more expected value on a particular setup, kind of goes out the window a bit in fundeds. So in fundeds, you know, you're in like a 50K funded, I think it makes the most sense to sit between 1 and 5 micros, more like 2 and 5 micros, unless volatility is insane or you're very new. When you're green on the day, how do you adjust sizing? I don't, unless emotions come into play. If you're somebody who's had a very good green day and you know that you tend to make problematic decisions when you're green, at least to the degree that you currently are, then size down. Maybe half your size on the same time frame. If you want to double your time frame, in that case, I would say go quarter of the size because your entry bars on twice the time frame are going to be larger on average. Again, there makes mathematical sense to increase your quote-unquote bet size if you're using exponential bet sizing like a poker player would, which makes a lot of sense. Okay, if you see a setup that comes around twice a year, you hit it bigger. But in funded accounts, you can't really do that. You don't have the room. Well, all right, man. Let's see what we get here. We've got... Oh, shoot. Place that guy. Give him 15 seconds just because you got 35, 36, 37. Not the greatest setup in the world, but if it takes it in 15 seconds, then I'd like to be a part of it. 2 seconds. No fill, no trade. Got to pull it. Got to pull it nice and quick. All right, we'll watch 38 here. See what we get. Yeah, there was a very, after the big move last night. Here, let's zoom out a tad. This was ridiculous. But this was beautiful. I don't like getting trapped in things. I mean, this was already pretty fucking late, you know. But there was some very clear, like this bar here. You know, the P&L you're seeing, that's where that came from, right there. But that was beautiful last night. And every RAM trader in the chat right now, if you were up watching this, I'm sure you made money on that. It was so fucking obvious. Trevor, good work, brother. Are you trading RAM? Well, let's watch how 38 closes. Cool, man. Keep up the good work. Trevor says it's helped me so much. Yeah, I mean, me too. It's logical. It makes sense. Very few things when I was trying to figure this all out actually made sense to me. So let's check the poll here. Damn, we got a lot of you guys actually trading fundeds. So 40% of you guys, damn near, are funded traders. Are you kidding me? That seems extraordinarily high. You would not expect that for a free live stream on the internet. That's nuts. 42%, Jesus. Well, and then on top of that, you got to throw 25% of them are trading personal, so it's crazy, man. You guys are killing it. Now, in the chat, how many of you guys have ever taken a payout? Or many, but at least one. Manuel, several payouts. Scott, yes. Stu, yes. Skyball, 45,000 in payouts this year. Good work. Keep that pace up. Keep scaling. We love it. Poker says, yeah, many payouts. Nathan, 6 payouts in the last 2 weeks. Nathan, those are rookie numbers. Get those numbers up. Just kidding. News, 3 payouts. Good work. Fuck, we're killing it! I want to see bankruptcy in the prop industry because of you guys. Nathan, around 10,000 in payouts. Biblical, 21,000 in payouts this month alone. Very good work. Xavier, keep at it, big dog. Art says getting funded is kind of easy compared to surviving the trailing drawdown. Sure. What I would say about that, though, is in the fundeds, you're probably trading too big. If the trailing drawdown for you is consistently a problem, by the way, I promise you're probably trading too big. I get it. You know, so-and-so on the internet trades 4 minis per account. But, I mean, just do the basic math. If you're trading a 50K funded, it's pretty damn clear that the sweet spot for most traders is going to be between 2 and 5 micros per 50K funded account. Now, volatility shifts. You can change that a little bit. If you want to be extremely aggressive, maybe go a little higher. I wouldn't encourage it. I feel like 5 is already plenty. Like, I've taken plenty of payouts, just trading 2 to 3 micros. Like, it doesn't even take that long. I'm talking when it was the 8-day payout period, 2 to 3 micros, payout. Like, it's not a big deal at all. I feel like it feels like it's going to take, yeah, but Nico, you size down in your head. You're like, it's going to take me 3 months to get a payout. No, it's not. No, it's not. Do the math. Just do the math and fucking trade, and you'll have so much more success. We had someone in here the other day who was like, yeah, Nico, I've taken, I forget what they said. It was a pretty impressive number of payouts trading 1 micro. And it didn't take them months. It took them like a couple of weeks. All right, now my question here becomes, this is one of those situations, guys, ready? How many different things could you look at this as? Well, bull wedge, right? Well, sideways trading range, right? Well, soft bear channel, right? This is a fucking mess, so I have to let it work itself out. It can be too many things at once, so 1, 2 more bars at a minimum. Javis says you never trade minis? Well, I trade minis in personal accounts, of course, but not in fundeds. There's not enough room. The only time I've consistently traded a mini in fundeds is in the old, remember the Apex 300Ks? That I would trade 1 mini and it was still very small. Question, do you trade minis on evals? Sure, I will start, let's say a 50K eval. I've talked very deeply about this. I've probably talked about it on live stream. I'll start a 50K, but you gotta understand, guys, when I talk about how I trade evals, I mean, I answer this question like twice a week. This is not best case scenario if you're not ROI positive. This is not a good scenario if you haven't been profitable trading your prop firms or your prop trading venture, we'll say. But when you get to the point where you're ROI positive in your prop trading, most of your attention, and most people don't think this way, which is why it's so fucked. Most of your attention should be focused on producing in the fundeds, right? Or at least watching for producing opportunities, I'll say, in the fundeds. So the problem is too many people, they'll be ROI positive, but then they don't speed up the eval process because they are terrified of expenses. Think of it this way. This might hit your brain a little bit better because you're like, yeah, I don't know. If you were running ads, for example, you're head of an advertising campaign for, I was gonna say Coca-Cola. That might be a bad industry because the tracking is sloppy. I don't know. You have perfect tracking, let's say, and you're head of an advertising campaign and you can track every sale that directly links back to the advertising campaign. If you are getting a 5x ROI on your ad campaign, would you come to the meeting with the boardroom full of company leaders and tell them that you're spending, $1,000 a day and you're making a 5x ROI? They're going to look at you and say, that's great. That doesn't do anything for us. What's the scaling plan? How do we spend $1 million? How do we spend 10 million a day and maintain at least a 2 to 3x ROI in doing so? That's the question here. And then you stutter over your words and don't know what to say. That's how it feels to me when people tell me they're ROI positive in their prop trading, but they're spending a week and a half trading in eval. Dude, evals are too inexpensive for you to be doing that. Fucking stop doing that. Pass them at the highest rate you can, but spend as little time as possible doing it. I don't mean gamble on CPI like some people like to do. That's dumb. That's childish. It's idiotic. Take reasonable trades, but get more aggressive with a little bit bigger size. And the way that I approach them is I'll trade anywhere from like 1 to 2 minis or so in a 50K eval to start. And then when I get 2/3 to 3/4 of the way-ish to the finish line, what has now happened? I had more time invested in the eval, so I sized down into the finish line. Into the micros. All right, bar 40 here, 235 out. All right, let's see if bar 40 here can close ideally beneath the wick low 39, maybe 37 would be even better. And then if we can get a rollover and bar 41 closes down beneath the wick low 35, I'd short it. Jones, big dog. What's up, brother? How we doing? All right, here comes the rollover. Bar 40 into the open of bar 41. ATR is 25. That's pretty damn low, by the way. What we don't want to see is that ATR dipping beneath 20. No, Diggs, I went full-time first with prop firms weren't a thing, really. At least not. They had brick and mortar prop shops, but prop firms like this weren't popular at all. I don't even think they were a thing. They, you probably had the obscure one here and there, but I didn't know what they were when I went full time. It was real. What size account would you recommend for someone like me that's been struggling? Probably a 50K. A 25K is your best bet to get funded, but I think a 50K is more reasonable with a little bit. It's a reasonable trade-off, I think, to go 50K. You guys know the beauty of the prop industry right now, by the way, that you probably, some of you I'm sure have, but a lot of you probably have not thought about at all. This industry is so new. Like the online, let's say, futures props, which are now expanding into, stocks, crypto. The beauty of this is that the industry is so new that there are so many firms popping up all over the place that it's kind of become on their side, on the prop business side, like this race to the bottom, which is good for us as the traders. The props who have a name for themselves, they're fine. But the ones who are fighting tooth and nail to try to get a name for themselves, it is a race to the bottom, which opens up massive gaps for traders called opportunity. Now, in 20 years, what's the prop industry going to look like? It's tough to say. It's really tough to say. But right now is like the Wild West. And a lot of these newer firms especially, man, they have to do crazy things to be competitive or they just go out of business. Which is good for us. Nathan says, just added it up. On TakeProfitTrader, daily payouts, I've withdrawn $13,500 in 8 days of trading RAM. That's the Roensch action method. A lot of scalping in a range, probably 65%, and 35% of my trades have been continuations. Trading RAM, thank you, Nico. Nathan, big man, keep it popping off, big dog. We love it. We love it. 13.5 in 8 days. Fuck 13.5. Let's do 135 in 8 days. Oh, we love to see it. All right, ATR sitting now beneath 25. See what bar 42 brings. So, like what, 4 bars ago, I drew those 3 options Maybe very soft bull channel, bull wedge, really. Sideways range, or we reject hard and turn this back into a big, kind of wide soft bear channel. This low volatility hesitation supports exactly that. I think the market is very confused right now because there's so many options here. There's so many different looks, and you probably have about a third of traders betting on each one, which is leading to this, a whole bunch of nothing. So we'll watch 42, bar 43. Got 3.5 minutes out here till 42 closes. Diggs says, you ever been fucked up over trading to the point where you feel like giving up? Diggs, dude. Everybody has experienced that at some point in their career. That goes away over time because you develop a track record and you get less fucked up. But what I will say is, you're here for a reason, correct? That reason is likely to be able to get ahead, probably be able to provide for your family better while simultaneously 5xing the amount of time you spend with them because you don't have to go anywhere. So if you're like, well, I'm just going to quit trading because this sucks, it's too hard. Okay, well then your other options to get ahead are you could go into business, which is also going to be equally as difficult to have a successful business, at least to the degree that you want your trading to be successful. And now you're starting over with a new thing that you have very little experience in, probably. Unless, you came from business to come here, in which case you already made that jump in reverse. So quit to do what? Was always my conclusion. So I'll quit and then do what? Go back to what I hate? I guess I'll just fucking keep going then. That's the option. Here we go, 42, 60 seconds out. All right, 10 seconds. Till we get the rollover into bar 43. See this wick? Market does not know which way to take this thing. We gotta let it decide. Oh, baby. Oh, you bears. 3 minutes out. Oh, baby, you bears. 225. Okay, be honest in the chat. Was anybody sitting long? Don't you fucking lie to us. That's all right, by the way. It doesn't mean you were, if you had a good thesis to be long, which I didn't, but if you did, and you just happened to hit a news bar that did not go in your favor, don't be too down. You know, news is 50-50. We know that. We plan ahead for that. We bake that into our data over a mid and long-term sample size. DK says I was long. Scott, yep. Icon was long. Oh, man. Hey, that's all right. Is anybody still holding long? It's a better question. Are you still in? Jonathan, how we doing, big dog? Roman, yep. Says they were long. Pablo, still long. Let's see, man. Hey, the good news is you have a bit of a look of a big, wide trading range. Potentially. That's a big body, and it's news-driven. So, you know, the technicals are, of course, a bit less relevant. But you know that the bulls are going to be a little bit more hesitant to let the bears just dump it all the way without at least trying to hold this trading range. They're trying to hold this trading range, but that news might just be too strong. Look at this bar. That's crazy. Oh, beautiful. Biggest bar of the day? Yep, just took out that bigger pre-market bar. Biggest bar of the day. 100 points in range. Look at that thing. That's what we needed, man. That just jerked ATR back up into the mid-30s. We love that. All right, let's watch bar 44. By the way, low a day is the Wick Loa bar 1. Down here at 26,964. Coming in for the test of 27,000. What a beautiful move, man. Holy shit. Yeah, that range is cooked, by the way. That news is just too much. That's just too much. And man, by the way, if you haven't yet, I appreciate you hitting the like button on the stream here. Hey! Or dislike, big dog, whatever you gotta do here on a Thursday, man. You're having a bad day, you said, you know what, Nico? You're the victim here today, because I'm having a shit day, and hitting the dislike button on your YouTube live stream is gonna make me feel better about myself. Hit it, big man. Do it to me. Oh, man, look at this move, man. Bar 44 closing up, 3 minutes out. Now, here's the thing with bar 44. Here's the thing. With news like this, I don't want to hit it with a limit. I would rather hit it with a stop limit, as I typically do. That would put me about 10 points away from the wick low of bar 1, with an ATR of 35 and the size of bar 44 being a little bit more than the ATR, depending on how we close up. That's a tough short. It's a tough short for me, because I know that the market has not been, at least during New York hours, has been hesitant to break and then really trend. That would be a very tough short for me getting that close. Now, if 44 were to, close, if it hadn't wicked down here and it were to close right here, right below the wick low 43, all of a sudden I got less risk and a lot more room to the stop hunt of the wick low 1. But let's watch. We got a minute 15. I'm curious how this guy closes up. Range on this bar about 40 points. Again, ATR 35. If it grows anymore, we got problems. Plus, the problem with this news, especially lately, you get a follow-up headline. Yeah, there it is. It's growing. It's growing. There's not a damn thing I can do about that, by the way. It's going to put me within, a point of the stop hunt. And there it is. Takes out the low. First bar closing beneath the wick low of bar 1. It just took out those stops. Took that juice another 10 points or so. Now we got to see if the bears can keep this thing rocking. Man, if we can rock into a bear trend, I'd fucking love it. But you got to understand, right now, this whole thing could very well, after this volatility ends, just bounce right back into the trading range. So let's watch 45. I want to see how 45 closes up. 45 for me is a very important bar. Again, if you're just joining us here, this is a 5-minute chart. You see this? Bulls are trying to take it right back up into the range. It's quite the ballsy move out of the Bulls, you gotta say. You gotta hand it to them, man. For buyers to be getting long right after those two big bear bodies, that to me shows some contextual bulls who are saying, yeah, but it's been trading ranges all week. Not gonna be me to step ahead of that, but you know what? More power to them. All right, 45. There you go. Let's see how 45 closes up. Man, there's tons of information here on bar 45. You got 2:45 out, 2 minutes, 45 seconds out, that is. It's a bloody battle here at the lows. Okay, so we're a minute 22 out here from the close of bar 45. We got news, of course, on bar 43. Then we had bar 44. First bar to close beneath the wick low of 1. Bar number 1, which was the low of day, of course. And I can't short bar 44 because of that reason. You take out the wick low of bar 1, you get that juice from the stop losses. And now here on 45, we've had the bulls trying to keep it inside of the range. Bouncing, wicking back up a tad. Unsuccessful so far. So in the next 50 seconds here, I got to see how bar 45 closes up. If they can close it up nice and low with very little wick, I can't have this bar growing out of control compared to the ATR, which is currently 38. But if 45 can close reasonably well with a little wick, if any, toward the low of 45, then I would use my engaged copy trader here. Place a stop limit sell just beneath the wick low of 45, and we'll see what's up. $18 seconds. I don't want to put on my stop limit sell too early, by the way. You risk getting a fill you didn't want if we get another headline. Nothing. There's going to be nothing here for me. All right, giant wick on 45. Let's watch 46 here and see what we get. Looking for the same thing here on 46. Well, this day changed up real quick, huh? Man, it's crazy. All right, 46, beauty. All right, 3 minutes, 15 seconds out here from the close of 46. Holy shit, you bears. We got news out of Iran here. That's the only thing I've been seeing. People have been pasting in the chat for the last 5 minutes. 10 minutes, actually. All right. Let's see what 46 has in store for me. Damn. All right, ATR is 41. Range so far on this bar, we're looking at about 65. By the way, I am sized down. So if I get a trade here, I've got very responsible size per account. Because while we have very nice price action, we also have news. And I am in no hurry, baby. Minute 15 out. Let's see if I get a nice clean close. All right, 58 seconds out here from the close of bar 46 into the open of 47. We got news there clearly on bar 43. Then we had 44, 45, 46. Now 45 was kind of a false alarm bar. 44, first bar to close beneath the wick low of 1, took out those stops. So nothing I can do there on 44. Too much of a risk of the whole day becoming a trading range. But now the news has continued to drive price action lower. Oh, man. All right, ATR is 42. Range on this bar is just under 80 points. There you go, 83 points with an ATR of 43. That's right on the teetering edge. So being sized down a bit, I still got to get this ready. Stop limit sell ready, 6 seconds. All right, there's the rollover. I will place him and give that about 20 to 25 seconds. The wick on 46 is a little bit larger than I like, so I'm not going to give it the full 30, but if the bears want to pop back lower and take that thing out in the first, we'll say 25 seconds, then I'll let them do it, and I will happily put that risk on. But if they don't want it, then I don't want them. 4 seconds. No fill, no trade. All right, move on. Let's watch 47 here. 4 minutes out. Three minutes, 20 seconds out From the close of bar 47, man. Let's see what the Bears got. Remember those bulls stepping in on bar 45, trying to claim trading range? They got ran over. All right, 47 looking pretty damn good. Two minutes! Bears, I need a clean close out of you. Yeah, don't worry so much about the headlines, guys. It's irrelevant to your trading. Just watch the price action. The fastest way to understand news is by looking at price, not by searching and digging through everything to speculate on what the headline was. You're not going to make money trading news. You may make money trading price action. All right. 50 seconds. All right, 30 seconds out. I'll go ahead and get the copier engaged. I do not want to miss if the Bears can clean this up and give me that nice clean close right below the wick low 46. Ideally, very little wick here on 47. ATR 42. Range on 47 is extremely reasonable. Inside close looking like... All right, we've got a tiny bear body on 47. So I got to sit and watch 48. Bulls getting a little bit of confidence off that small, tiny little bear body close out of bar 47 here. Again, this is a 5-minute chart if you're new here. Welcome. It's a 5-minute. And the numbers under the charts are just counting the bars from the start of the New York session. Why do I do that? Because have you ever tried to look back on your trading data using times? It's a pain in the ass. And this is how I look at things. Not to mention the added benefit of you guys are all in different time zones. So bar 48 is bar 48, regardless of where you live. Anyone sitting long right now just got all bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. They're watching 48 with love in their eyes. We'll see if the Bulls can hold it, man. Dragon, what's up, brother? How we doing? So, looking at this poll here, man, I know some of you guys saw it and don't want to vote unless you're green. I'll tell you one thing, if you're unable to anonymously vote in a poll on the internet and admit to yourself that you're sitting red, we got problems, big dog. All right, 48. Let's see. God, that wick up top, man. The range on 48 after 47. Not the prettiest sight. Another inside close out of 48. So on to 49. All right, I'm going to run a flash poll. If you're new here, by the way, a flash poll is very quick. A minute or two. Otherwise, you get too much bias as things happen. So, 1 second. All right, I'm going to close that out at the end of bar 49. 3 minutes. Holy shit. Vote on where the market currently is, not where it was. All right, 49. Let's see what you got. 340 out. I just may have a trade here on 49 if it's a nice clean close within reason as far as range compared to ATR. Now, obviously, as always, the concern eventually is that eventually this will turn into a sideways trading range, most likely. V-shaped recoveries do happen, but they are not the most probable end to a big bear trend. The most probable end to a big bear trend, or interim, we should say, is a sideways trading range, at least for a little while, until it makes another run. Either higher or lower, by the way. Bull's trying to form that range up here. All right, 90 seconds, and then we've got big bar 50. Bull's trying to bounce this thing back up. Again, risk of trading range only increasing. Yeah, if you look at the overnight low, you guys see this? Holy shit. Like a brick wall, man. There's the rollover, by the way, into the open of bar 50 over here, but look at this. Wow. Beautiful price action through here last night, by the way. Nice and controlled. All right, let's watch bar 50 here and see what 50 has is able to bring to the table. Again, a V-shaped recovery is, of course, not out of the cards. But it is the lower probability event. The higher probability event, this is just math, can't really argue this. The higher probability event is a sideways range first, right? By the way, if you haven't yet, man, I appreciate you hitting the like button. Let's get this thing to 200. Thank you, guys. Helps out tremendously. Hey, man, as always, hit dislike too, man. If you gotta hit dislike, do it to me. Same thing. All right, Bear's trying to make this thing a range. Three and a half minutes out. Look at this. Wow. The Bears want to take out that overnight low, don't they? Well, then do it, Bears, you bunch of babies! Take it out, big dogs. Let's see it. They're like, no, you go first. You go first. A break of 47 is a break of the overnight low-ish. 847, that is. Yep, Derek, link in the description, brother. I'll see you inside. Time to retire from the job, big man. Hang it up. Jersey in the rafters at the 9 to 5. It's almost a to the tick test. This price action here from 47, bar 47 here to bar 50, this is interesting. Because it's very clearly just bounce around volatility while the bears work up the courage to try to take out that overnight low. $18 seconds here until bar 50 closes up. There's the rollover into bar 51. Come on, 51. Tank it through. Obviously, inside close, they're out of bar 50. There it is. You see here, by the way. There we go, taking out that overnight low. You know the bears wanted to do it, just had to work up the courage first. Now the big question, can anyone tell me here what the big question now is? Now that the bears got what they want, is it like the dog who catches the mailman? Are they not going to know what to do with themselves now? Let's watch 51. Look at that push. They're out of those bears, man. Good, 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 good. Holy shit, look at these bears. Beauty! 325 out. Now, ATR, by the way, is 57. Oh, we love to see it. Range on this bar so far, bar 51, about 80 points. And growing. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Yeah, Frank's talking about FOMO. It's hard not just jump in. You know what, guys? Who gives a shit? Moves like this happen all the time. If I get a setup, I throw it on. If I don't, then it clearly wasn't really a move that I missed, was it? It was just a move that happened. It didn't offer me anything. That being said, now let's see how 51 closes up. Okay, 57 seconds here till we see bar 51 close up. ATR is currently about 60. Range on this bar is about 107, 108 points. We'll see if it grows a bit more. It is. It's growing a tad. We got 40 seconds here to watch how 51 closes up. And if it closes clean inside of 130-ish, 125-ish points in range, then I am sized down to take a beautiful short on the close here. The main problem here is if this bar becomes clearly outsized, which it's right now teetering on the edge of. For me. Okay. See how this guy closes up. Yep, and I'll see if the bears want to take it. Open a bar 52. And they will. The bears will go ahead and grab that. Move all this out! Out, out, out. Move it! Alright, readjust my stop to where it needs to be. Right there. Beauty. And let's see what the bears got. There you go, bears. Don't mind that. ATR currently sitting about 60. $20-ish points in the money. Again, ATR sitting at 60 here. You've got options as far as taking profit. 3.5 minutes out here to the close of bar 52. Beauty. No fill, pull that order. Stay exposed, gotta stay exposed. ATR moving upside to 63. Damn you bears, man. No fill. That's all right. ATR sitting at 63. Let's see if they can take one more run at it. Big old breather here out of the bulls, man. Bulls bouncing it back. See what they got. Minute 37 out here from the close of bar 52. ATR now 64. All right, Bears. I want to see an honest run at this thing. Let's go. Man, what beautiful volatility, though, huh? An ATR of 64, this is what we've been asking for, baby. Now, Bears, do it to them. All right, there's the rollover. Close of 52 into the open of 53. See if 53's got anything in store here. There you go, Bears. ATR 61 called 62. Man, little arguments here with the bulls. Well, kind of hovering here. All right, ATR sitting 62. See if these Bears can make one more run at him. Give me a fill this time, man. No fill on the previous run at him, by the way, if you're just joining us here. 2 minutes, 8 seconds here, by the way, till the close up of bar 53. Oh, the hesitation. Oh, you bulls! All right, let's see if they take out the wick high of 50. Do we just get another headline? See if they take out the wick high of 51. Man, so close to getting a fill. We missed it by a tick. That was the weirdest fill I've ever gotten in my life. All right, man, that's it on that one. Hey, sometimes you hit target and you don't get a fill. Moving on. Bar 53, let's see what we get. Crazy trade. All right, let's see what we get. Let's keep going. ATR 75. Goodness. All right, by the way, here comes the rollover. Bar 53 into 54. HR settling in here right around 70 points. Let's see how this guy develops. What are we looking for? I'm looking for my next setup, man. We have a lot of potential here to maybe see if we can reject this, a soft bear channel, which could lead to another continuation trade inside the wick low, which could be treated as kind of a less than mature stop hunt. If we get well, I don't want to say a second, another, let's say 55, bar 55, ends up another bull body, closes us well above the wick high of 50. You got some potential to potentially there, although you would have to look out for a trading range. I'm just keeping an eye out, man. I'm not looking for anything in particular except the next setup. 90 seconds till the close up here of bar 54. Let's see what we get. All right, give me 2 minutes. I just got to grab coffee, man. Be right back. All right, what's up? Welcome back. We have a minute 38 till bar 55 closes. Let's see what we get, man. Bull struggling to get us above the wick high at bar 50. Four minutes here. See what 56 brings. Question, long for previous high? Well, that wouldn't be the reason I would get long. I would get long if I got a proper RAM setup that told me to get long here on bar 56, which would require a reasonably clean close, ideally a bit, not extraordinarily well above, but not 2 ticks, the wick high of 50. Because you know that there's risk of a trading range here. By the way, ATR sitting 73. 28 seconds. All right. Essentially a doji close out of bar 56, so we got to watch 57. And see what we get. Baby! I had to sneeze, my bad. Roensch, are you waiting for 950 break or candle close? I'm waiting on candle close. All right, we got about a minute and 25 seconds here. Bar 56 is effectively a doji. So we'll watch 57 and see if we can clean up a little bit. Another inside bar here out of 57. It's looking like it. All right, we'll watch 58. A couple of ugly bars, 56, 57. This temptation to form a trading range. Oh man. ATR is still holding on. 65, 66-ish. L says it wicked up twice, man. Just go. What, to the short side? You know what? You guys are right. You guys are right. Let me throw 10 years out the window. I'll tell you what. Let me trade. I'm here to entertain you, 4L. That's why I do my stream every day. To entertain you, big dog. Let me know what you'd like me to do. I'll put it on. Two minutes till the close of 58. I know, 4L, I know. I'm just fucking with you. You wasn't even talking shit. It's pretty good, dude. Not too bad. All right, we got bar 58, minute 12 out. Now, 58 is problematic, by the way, because you've got 56 and 57, both of which large wick, tiny little doji / small bull bodies. that really breaks up the look from 54, 55 to 56 or 57. So now I gotta watch 58 and see if 59 can do something to him. Look at that. Tiny bull body close. Not going long? Nope, not yet. Not yet. Probability right now is way too close to 50-50 for me to go long. Yeah, what do you guys think? This thing gonna roll over? I gotta tell you, I really don't care either way. I would well, that's not true, because I'd probably be a little happier if we did roll back over, because there's more room downside as opposed to going upside, because we had that brutal area of interest from bar 34 to bar 42. So if we could get a couple of nice, clean, consecutive bear bodies, that would be nice. $90 seconds out here from the close of 59 into the rollover of big bar 60. Someone says, bit of a bull flag wrench. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. You can make the argument that it's a bull flag on a million different things. The problem with when people only look at that, in my head, is that trading range trumps bull flag. I don't, like, I know it all. It's not difficult to understand and see, which is, you know, I think part of the problem, because a lot of you guys here, think about this for a second. Now over the last 13 months, you've seen me make tons of money on continuation RAM setups, right? But whenever we get new people, for whatever reason, they get fucking pissed when I get long on highs and short on lows. even though it pays me fat, right? I think you have to provide something of value to the market, as silly as that sounds. When you get a continuation trade, humans are contrarian by nature. Now, it has to be a setup, right? At least for me, it does. But we know that people are contrarians by nature. They think, oh, it's gone this low, it can't possibly go much lower. So when I step up to the plate and put out a stop limit buy, and buy the fucking high of day, everyone loses, not everyone. Some people, usually newer traders, lose their minds. But that setup has some of the most edge that I can get. Right? So, I don't know what triggered this rant. The bull flag comment, I subscribe much more to the top-down methodology that RAM is, which is start with context, then go with setup fitting into the context, then go with the patience of waiting to get that, and then the nuance of said setup. And obviously, as we know, the context, there's intraday context, and then there's environmental context, which both have to be considered. Bar 60, whole bunch of nothing on 59. Three and a half minutes out. Sebastian says, what are the numbers under the candles? Counting from the New York Open, big dog. Take a breath, man. That blood pressure. They call it the silent killer. Keep it down, brother. I want to see 120 over 80. All right, big bar 60, 2 minutes out. This is a 5 minute, by the way, 5 minute time frame. For those of you guys kind of new around here, at least that's what I'm looking at right now. It doesn't have to be the 5 minute. Dean says, where can I learn more on RAM? Hang out on the free live stream. Go take a look at the Roensch Action Method YouTube channel, all free. And then when you're ready, and you're like, I need to learn the nuance of this to actually put it into practice, then you can join the tomb, if you'd like. You don't have to, by the way, but it'll probably take you a fucking lot longer. But you can, look, if you hang out on the stream for a year, eventually I'll probably, say most things, but it already exists. Sam, that's the daily that you're seeing up top. Not the weekly. That's the daily. So yesterday, the 15,000 or whatever it was for yesterday, that was the daily as well for yesterday. All right, there's the rollover into bar 61. All right, 61 beauty. Dean, just click on my channel here that I'm live on right now, Roensch Capital, and scroll down, you'll see it. It's brand new, but there's a fucking shitload of value on that channel, all for free. All right, 337 out. All right, let's see. Let's see how bar 61 closes up. Hey, by the way, Matt, if you haven't yet, I appreciate you hitting like on the live stream. While we wait, I get it. I don't really. I try to when I remember, but I don't. I forget all the time if I click on someone's video, but I try to remember to do it. It really does help. So I try to spread that love whenever I think of it. All right, minute 50 out. This is the 5-minute chart, bar 61. Let's see how this guy closes up. Now, ATR down to 58, by the way. And these candles are quite a bit smaller, so. 60 seconds out. You've got all this ugliness, 56, 57, 58, 59. Inside closed, but definitely a cleaner body, you know, way less wick up top. On 60 and now 61 is looking quite a bit more reasonable here. Still, the counter argument, as always, is that this, whether it turns into this, turns into a big trading range, there's always going to be a counter argument. So I like to approach that when I'm setting up for something 30 seconds out. If the bulls can close this nice and clean, being that the ATR is 58 and the range on this guy is only 32 points, this would be a smaller trade. Regardless of outcomes. So let's just see if I can get the clean close that I need, and then I'll throw out a stop limit buy. Bring it up and back down. Let's see. Place him, roll over. and see if the bulls want to take it. And they will, so I suck my stop up. And I'll just risk the wick low. Gun. There we go. You ever try to move your stop and it won't go to the tick you want? Pisses me off. All right. Let's see if the bulls want to get the job done here. R on this trade is about 33 points. ATR 54. Coming up into 27,000, by the way. We've already seen that plenty today, so I'm not too worried about it. Bulls taking their sweet time. That's all right. That is all right. Yeah, all right, Bulls. It's about enough of that here out of the Bears. Step on in, baby. There's the rollover. Bar 62. The open is 63. Just wait this little guy out, see what it wants to do here. ATR is falling quickly, by the way. See all these bars? Range is tight, tight, tight. ATR falling as a result, down to 50 on the ATR. Now again, for me on this trade, you've got options as far as stops, right? You could place it just below the wick low of 61, which is the open of 61, which is what I opted for. Keep it tight. Definitely more of a scout mentality. You could place it beneath the wick low of 56 if you wanted to go a bit wider. And if you wanted to get crazy with it and go intraday swing, what you would do is you would size way down and you could risk the wick low of 52. But I opted for the wick low of 61. Keep this trade a bit tighter. Just because I know that volatility, unless we get more news, more, fuel on the fire here, volatility is likely to come on in here. You'd already see it falling down to 51. What was the peak of ATR? Mid-70s? Let's see if the bear's got the wick low of 61 in them. All right, cut it. Son of a gun, man. I don't think I'll recover, dude. All right, 63. Let's see how we close up here on 63. 2 minutes. I think we got a trading range. Trading range, trading range, trading range. Oh, you hate to see it. ATR is probably going to dip below 50 here very shortly. All right, let's keep pushing. Here's the rollover, 63 into 64. Roberto, I can do you one better. I've taken a fucking shitload of trades live showing the P&L for 13 months. All you have to do is go watch. But if you don't want to do that, man, I can't help you. I'd say that's better than a piece of paper, big dog. Four minutes. ATR teetering on 50, dude. I think we're gonna start dipping back into the 40s here unless we get another pour of gas on the fire here from Trump or something. Now the 40s are not bad. Don't get me wrong. I don't mind the 40s. But you see this big tank off the orange vertical lines. That's the range of each bar, right? Really starting to normalize back to what we were seeing, you know, around 11 o'clock here. What's the mindset now, Roensch? The mindset is to wait and see what the context, how it sits, and what the next setup is. That's the mindset, man. Nothing changes. Garzan, what's up, brother? How we doing? Oh, hang on. My stuff's here. Be right back. What's up? Welcome back. All right, we got bar 64 looking relatively clean, but still in the trading range. Let's watch 65. By the way, guys, take profit trader right now. By the way, I get asked a lot. I always talk about daily payouts. That's not Apex. That's take profit trader. Right now, if you use code BIG, B-I-G, bitch, it's 40% off, no activation fee. The activation fee is like 130 bucks, and you won't pay that if you use code BIG when you sign up. Big dog. 65, come on now. Minute 35 out. Let's see what we get. Aaron, biggest day of the year, my man. My man. Good work. Oh, shit. There we go. 45 seconds out. Let's see here. 65 closes up. Ten seconds. Looking like a whole lot of nothing, huh? From the looks of it, I gotta keep my eye on this. Well, let's see if bar 66 can put it together. All right, 3 minutes, 40 seconds out till we get to close of bar 66. All right. All right, 40 seconds out here. We got bar 66 coming in for a potential close. We just get news. All right, keep an eye on this. 25 seconds, that's plenty. That's plenty to let the news clear up and watch how it closes up. You got 64, 65, 66, 10 seconds. ATR is 52. We've got it within reason range on bar 66. Let's see how it closes. Bit of a wick there, which means I'll give it 15 seconds, see if the bears want to take it. Eight seconds. And the bears don't want it. No fill, no trade. Pull it. And wait on bar 67. Oops. There we go. All right, 3.5 minutes out. Well, let's watch what 67 brings. I'm not seeing a headline on 66, by the way. Anyone else seeing it? Well, yeah, I mean, he's getting ready to speak, but it's a healthcare event, correct? I mean, we'll see, I guess. All right, about 2 minutes out. $40 seconds. All right, 20 seconds out. I better get ready just in case the Bears want to last second adjust this guy lower beneath that wick low of 66. I doubt they have it in them, but let's see if they do. Nothing on 67. Doji close. All right, 250. Bull's trying to take this thing back up into the trading range. Remember what we talked about on 64? Problematic because there's likely a trading range involved here. Yeah. Yeah, Bull's trying to take it back up in there. What's the math of a 50K versus a 150? Yeah, the ratio. They increased the ratio. It's a marketing tactic, by the way. The names of the accounts have nothing. You should look at the drawdown on the account. If you want to go bigger, which they know that people are going to want to go bigger, they make it more difficult on the ratio to make it fit into their business model, right? Which is why I think a lot of traders end up using the 50s. It's really common to see traders like have 15 or so 50Ks and then like 5, maybe 10 50s, 10 150s, 5 50s. I'm sorry, 15 50s with 5 150s, or just go all 50Ks, I think is very logical. Because it's not like using the 50Ks as opposed to the 150s limits your upside so much. It really doesn't that much at all. All right, 3 minutes, ATR 46. You know what, guys? I'm going to go hit lunch. I'm the fuck out of here, man. We'll see what the next couple hours bring. We'll see what Power Hour, how it finishes up here into the New York session close here in 49 minutes. And then obviously we got the night session, man. So I'll tell you what, I will see you tomorrow morning. Hang in there, dude. Hang in there. A lot of you guys, too many of you guys, get your self-worth from your P&L. It's weird, dude. Skip that stage of your life, of your trading career. I went through it too. It doesn't help you. In fact, all it does is make you a miserable prick. All right? Fucking A. See you tomorrow, guys. Pharaoh Friday. Have a good one.